God,
Oh man, listen, the Bears get to start the second round of these interviews. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Bears get to start the second round of these interviews this week. Now that the wild card playoff games are done, some of the major names on the list, of course, now Mike McCarthy, who we were just talking about, but Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken. I'm not gonna lie, I hope he get the job just so I can say his name all the time. It's gonna be a great you and that Monken. Girl, I've been shaking and sticking and moving, trying to get to you and that Monken. Buffalo Bills OC Joe Brady. Nah, it's not as fun. My Minnesota Vikings DC Brian Flores. I hope he lost the job last night.
Yeah.
I hope he absolutely lost that job last night. Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. I hope he lost his job as well. Let him stay right over there. Commanders OC Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
And former Stanford coach David Shaw, who worked for the Denver Broncos. Of course, there's interest in Iowa State's head coach Matt Campbell, and NFL Network dropped yesterday that Marcus Freeman is somebody that the Chicago Bears are interested in as well. So the Bears get to start kind of this second week of these interviews. And when you hear those names, JC, who's the one that stands above the rest? Even throwing McCarthy in there. Who's the name that's at the top of that list?
There's two names that are kind of a little getting me hot, getting me a little going.
Oh, hot.
Well, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Not too hot.
I was gonna say, hold on now.
A little warm. All right.
You have the meat sweats. Yeah, I could use a steak.
I'm gonna go with Marcus Freeman, and I'm gonna go with you and that Monken. That's the two names that I actually I think would be at the top of my list, outside of a Joe Brady, obviously. But Todd Monken, we've talked about it before. He's a little bit on the older side when it comes to age, but at the same time, he kind of has that youthful vigor. You see the kind of offense that they're running over there in Baltimore. I love it when you're talking about a mobile dual threat quarterback. I mean, there's nobody better than right now than Lamar Jackson in my mind, and maybe you could implement that here with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has a little bit of scamper in him, and so maybe you implement that along with a decent run game, obviously, that they have over there. But also the passing game is very good. So I wouldn't mind a Todd Monken. Obviously, you know what Marcus Freeman brings. Very good defensive-minded coach. Young, can connect to the players. We talked about that the other day. Is a guy that will pretty much get every last bit of effort out of his guys. You see that they've made it all the way to the championship game. So those two are my leading candidates if Ben Johnson again does not become the front runner.
Todd Monken is an interesting one because I mean, like, does he feel a Bruce Arians to you almost?
Ooh, Todd Monken, Bruce Arians.
Does he feel a Bruce Arians to you almost? Like,
I can see that comparison. I'll take it. Yeah,
I think that he's one of those guys to me when you look at him, and I don't know if he ends up getting or being a good head coach or not, but to me, it's almost like he's that guy that everyone continues to overlook, and he gets the job done. He's that guy to me that everybody continues to be like, oh, yeah, Todd Monken's over there. We're not worried about them. And then he's putting together one of the best offenses in the NFL. He's putting together one of the best systems that Lamar Jackson has played in. And dare I say, listen, under Todd Monken, Lamar has looked like a completely different quarterback. Lamar won his first MVP under what that boy name is?
The past. Did he win the MVP
that year? I'm thinking Greg.
Greg Roman.
Greg Roman. I believe he won his first MVP under Greg Roman. I may be wrong on that, but he didn't look nearly like the level of passer that he looks like today. Lamar Jackson looks so comfortable in the passing game, looks so comfortable in the pocket. Now, it also took Todd Monken coming in and going, hey, Why don't y'all give him some offensive linemen?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Greg Roman. Yeah, Greg Roman. Yeah, shout out Darius.
Yeah, we said
but like we're seeing Lamar Jackson look like a completely different version of Lamar Jackson. By the way, the previous version was really freaking good.
Yeah.
I wonder what a guy like that could do for Caleb Williams. But again, are you focusing too much in on what does this guy do for the quarterback versus how is this guy going to be as a leader?
That's the question mark. What does this guy do first for the quarterback versus what does this guy do for your entire team?
Yeah.
Like, can he put more on his plate? Yeah. And maybe that's the reason why, and that's why I even overlooked a name like Marcus Freeman coming in saying, you know what, okay, he's already got the experience of being a head coach over a whole team at the collegiate level. Could he do it at the next level, at the pro level? Which is why he would be, one of my top candidates out of this. But I mean, yeah, Todd Monken, I would take a chance on him because he's been around for a minute now. He's had the experience in the league for a while. And you're bringing along a quarterback, like you said, who improved as an MVP, which is impressive, to now being an efficient quarterback, pocket passing type of MVP as well. That would be very attractive just off rip, because that's kind of where we're at with Ben Johnson. We don't know what he'll bring to the table as far as like an entire organization or whatever his leadership skills will be, but we know what he'll probably bring as far as quarterback development. And so to me, that's along the same lines as what you would think of a Todd Monken. So those two guys really stand out.
He's going to be interesting, man. I think for me, when I look at this this candidate pool number, like I said, I'm probably higher on Mike McCarthy than most. I think he's kind of at the top of that list for me. I do think he leads the way. Marcus Freeman will be interesting. It's going to take a lot to get him out of Notre Dame. It's going to take a lot. And I think if you're in on, if you have the opportunity to go out and get a Mike McCarthy, does that kind of take away from you going after Marcus Freeman because he's now available? I think that shifted shifted the focus a little bit for the Chicago Bears in this whole process. The other name that I think, and again, it's not the one that I want, but it just feels like, again, what do we say about the Bears? They go with the easy move. They go with the we're gonna take this square peg and put it in this square hole, and it's just gonna fit together, and we're not gonna look at it anymore. I think Cliff Kingsbury has a real shot at this job.
Jesus, really?
I think Cliff Kingsbury. It's too easy. When you talk about the simple hire,
just insert him.
Yeah, when you talk about the simple hire, right?
Yeah.
Worked with Caleb, knows Caleb, got Caleb to or helped Caleb, become the #1 overall pick. Got back in, coached Jaden Daniels to one of the best seasons that a rookie quarterback has had out in Washington. And Jaden Daniels had to deal with the same, not the same level of sacks, but being sacked quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's too easy. I'm not a fan. I would rather not go with the guy that hasn't had success as a head coach at any stop. But when I look at the Bears, it's just, again, right, Mike McCarthy seems like an obvious name that the Bears would hire. When I look at Cliff Kingsbury, it screams obvious to me. And I think that if you're talking about going into these interviews and what the Bears are going to be looking for, they're going to be looking for a guy, if you miss out on Ben Johnson, that is easy to put in the position and he just goes out there and he works.
Here's the reason why the unknown is so attractive to me when you're talking about the Marcus Freemans who've never done it at the pro level, or the Bradys or the Ben Johnsons versus the McCarthys, and the Carrolls or whatever that have the head coaching experiences, because as you've already said, and I've talked about it, we know what they can bring. We know, in a sense, maybe their ceiling, especially as of now, when they've become more long in the tooth and the game has kind of evolved a little bit past when they were in their prime coaching. I feel like if you're just wanting someone to bring a certain level of consistency and stability, like we talked about, you get those guys in the building, which will be better for this team because there has been no stability. But if you're talking about maybe bringing in a guy who his potential is uncapped and he could get you all the way to the Super Bowl, like the Detroit Lions were one game away last year, and they could potentially get to the Super Bowl this year. That's the guy that I want to bet on coming into the building and just untapping all of the potential for this entire team, not just the quarterback, where you say, okay, the regular season was great. We were 12-5, but we didn't just not lose in the first round like the Cowboys always do. We made it to the NFC, division or the NFC championship game. Yeah. We made it to the Super Bowl. The next year, we actually won the Super Bowl. Like, that's what I want. I want the guy that okay, well, there's a question mark about whether or not he can be a leader, but there's this I don't know, this attraction of not the unknown that I would love over the known.
I think that's what's interesting about this whole process. That's really what it comes down to, is that conversation. Do you want the known? We have known knowns and we have known unknowns. And in having those unknowns, we know what we no, just playing. But for me, the unknown is scary, but has oftentimes in this game been worth it. Right? The unknown is of Ben Johnson. I know he can call an offense. Can he lead a team? Yeah. And all that it screams in your mind is Matt Nagy. Oh God, Josh McDaniels. Like, it fails more time than it succeeds. And so that is where I think, because here's the reality of this. Can Ryan Poles go with the unknown? Can Ryan Poles take a chance on the unknown? Does he have that kind of time?
Because he's tied to it.
Does he have that kind of leeway?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Because for me, listen, I love that. I keep saying Ben Johnson's one. That means I'm ready to roll down this path of the unknown, and when we get to the end of it, I'm fully expecting it to be like, well, Wills fell off on that. All right, let's start it over. Who's breaking Arch Manning? I'm fully prepared to go down that path. But I also look at the situation that Ryan Poles is in here, where he has to say, I'm not getting 3 years to finish this. We have to be in a winning position. You don't have to be a perfect team. Mm-hmm. But you have to be winning games next season.
Now, yeah, it has to happen. Yeah,
you just don't. He doesn't have the time. I don't think it's a lame duck season. I think you can go into this season, win 8 games, and be fine going into the next season. I think if you draft well early on and you see some development and you have somebody who can come in like a Mike McCarthy, who's named, or right, somebody who's known, a Pete Carroll, who's some of the other guys who have been head coach. I guess Arthur Smith, but I'd probably, Arthur Smith walks through that door. Here we go. There he is.
Get him
right
back
there
out
on the floor.
See you later.
I don't know, dog. I feel like Arthur Smith walking in is just pure and utter domination.
Oh, we haven't used it in a minute.
Thank
there it is. Straight cheeks.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. But when you talk about those known guys,
yeah,
even a Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury gets you to 7-8 wins.
Yeah. Do you want that?
It's not great, but it will buy you that time.
Can Ryan 7 or 8 wins will buy you time next year, though?
Absolutely.
But okay, think about it like this, though, because I'm going to sit here and say that would be a trash season with everything we thought we would do this past year. You're telling me you're going into the draft, you get another lineman to address, you get Will Campbell here, you get a couple of good Drew Dahlman or whatever, a good center out of the free agency.
Yeah,
you going into next year fully healthy. You telling me you only win 7 and 8 games? You're happy?
We won 4, or we won 5.
I'm just talking about the expectation of this year was to get to 7 or 8. You're saying you want 7 or 8 next year.
I'm telling you that 7 or 8 saves Ryan Poles. I want 15.
Jesus.
What I want and what happens are two different things.
Okay, all right. That's what I thought. I'm like, man, I would love for the bar to be set a little higher.
Listen, what I want and what is going to save Ryan Poles another year are two completely different things.
Yeah. boy.
I want to go out there and go 17-0 when we go to the Super Bowl and we slap
right.
our Jackson Powers
right.
Johnson on the table. You know what I mean?
You dang right.
What's probably going to happen is we're going to come up a lot of bits short, and they're going to laugh at us and point.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I think that Ryan Poles has to go with something that's known.
Yeah.
I think that if you don't go Ben Johnson, because Ben Johnson is major swing. And everybody would kind of be like, all right, we'll give you a little leeway. You got the coach. You got the guy we wanted. Big swing. I believe that if he misses on that, he can't go with some of these other unknowns. Can you take a chance that Todd Monken is the leader that nobody has thought he was as a head coach in the NFL? Can you take a chance that Joe Brady is the next Sean McVay? Can you take a chance that, because if you miss, you miss big. You're going to be missing some paychecks.
See, I think you would be missing the job if you're Ryan Poles.
That's why I said miss some paychecks.
Oh, well, yeah. I guess that goes hand in hand.
You don't get paid when you're not working. Well, actually, Matt Eberflus is getting paid out here not working. Shout out to him. Flusie's living the dream here.
Was he getting severance? What is he getting up?
Yeah, they keep paying you. They don't just give you the rest of your money as you walk out the door. It's not like a real job where they just hand you your last check.
Give me everything.
The walking down the door, here's $4.3 million. Yeah, get out.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah. No,
I'm upset, but also I'll see you in Vegas.
I am fully team unknown. Like I said, I am on team unknown for now because, and that's a good point I didn't think about is, will Ryan Poles be scared away from maybe taking the unknown because he knows his job is on the line? So you want to at least get comfortable. You want to get the guy in here that will at least give you some more time, get you some wins, be successful in the regular season, make it look better, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens in the postseason. But that's the thing with me is the bar is always set lower than where I want it to be with this team, this organization. If you say you want to go out and get the best, go for the jugular, go for the goal. Don't come up short and say, well, I want to feel like my job is safe. So you know what? Let me bring in Mike McCarthy. Let me bring in Cliff. Let me bring in these guys that's been there and done that. And then we'll worry about everything later. No, again, you're thinking small. Got to think big. Got to be a big boy organization.
I agree. Listen, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what is Kevin Warren going to set this standard at? How far is Kevin Warren going to push this? That's what it comes down to me. Because
he is the outlier. Yeah.
It not only is he the outlier, but to me, and I've said this a couple of times, he's worried about billions.
Mm-hmm.
He don't give a, what was funny? He don't give a Kafka.
You don't give a Kafka. Yeah.
About how much you got to spend in these millions.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to build billions. I'm trying to build $1 billion stadium.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make billions of dollars a year. So I do believe that there's going to be a different push, a different level. I just wonder how much of that push is actually carries over to this coaching search. How much of that push actually carries over to the regular season? How much of that push actually impacts? Because I think he's the one that makes the most difference.